Okay, I'm going to talk about what happened today. I'm trying to keep this mic here. Hope the sound is okay because moving it between my hands seems to make a lot of noise. Today, CNA got me out of bed and, she had to change me and clean me up. But she didn't clean me up properly. So when she put me in the chair, of course I have to use the urinal. I took the chair over to the used the urinal and I had to readjust my pants. So I pulled them up before I'd done anything. I started the inside of my pants were dirty. It's only one way that happened because I know that there was nothing in these pants before she put me in them. So I went looking and checking and yep, she left me dirty in places that I'm not supposed to touch because I keep giving myself infections. And I just hoped that it was just a little bit, because I've had that before, and it's just from what it is really from is from CNAs not properly cleaning people, especially men, because most of these are female CNAs. And I think guy CNAs just feel funny doing it. Who knows? But when so I was working on these papers, and it's 1:40 in the morning, so I'm a little tired, in addition to the MSM. The CNAs are supposed to properly clean you every time they change you. And, I think it's once a week or once every couple of days or whatever. They're supposed to give you a sponge bath kind of thing if you can't get in the shower yourself, which I can't. So that was that situation. I wasn't too happy about that because I have to go to an infusion this morning. And I have to figure out what pants I'm going to put on. Because that was my last pair of pants. And because personally, I don't know, I think, well, I'll have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she forgot to do it properly, but she did it twice in one day. It's a little hard to give her the benefit of that doubt. CNAs don't properly clean you because they only want to clean the type of cleaning they do is if you would like to put, say, a wet towel on the floor and lay down on it and then flip over, that's it. That's pretty much it. Now, as you know, I would hope, that is not properly cleaning. When I'd get in the shower, I'd put one leg up and just be a scrubbing, Maybe that's TMI, sorry. But it's necessary for this. So I said, well, I'm going to hope it's just one spot, And so I waited. I went, it didn't get on the urinal or anything like that. So I'm like, well, maybe that was it. So she ended up working a double. So she was the same one that put me in bed. So when she put me in bed, she pulls the pants off me and she stops right about at the point where I figure she would notice, and I thought she'd say something. She didn't. And then she kept pulling my pants off. And then she put them on my wheelchair like I was going to wear them tomorrow. Then she goes to change me or whatever, because they do that every night, And she goes and takes off my, what do you call it? It's like a Depends. It's like I keep wanting to say underoos, but it's like a pull-up is what they call it. It's not brief. They call that diapers briefs for some reason. But it's like shorts, whatever. So she takes the shirts off and realizes, see, what happened was I just turned the air conditioner on later in the day, but it was a little warmer earlier, so I kind of got sweating a little bit. And so you can imagine, if you're not exactly clean down below, you get a little sweat, it moves, runs around and stuff like that, right? So this girl's pulling these shorts off, right, and realizes that I'm not exactly clean, which was her fault. And she tells me to turn over, and because at night I put a diaper on, well, brief, so that this is more absorbent, whatever. At this point, now that I've whittled down my medications, I really don't think I need a brief. But I do it anyway, because what's the difference? So she has me roll over so she can put it down and go, oh, we had a little something, you know what I'm saying? Which I didn't. I knew I didn't, because I didn't so much as pass gas today. That's one of the benefits of cutting my medication back, is that I'm starting to go back to normal now. I didn't even pass gas today. So when she said that, I'm like, so now she's blowing it off like I did something. And she's wiping me off with those disposable towel things. And she's like doing the job, and I'm like, all right, it wasn't just a little spot. Still, she cleans me up a lot, still leaves me dirty in the same spot, doesn't clean it. Then she goes over and gets my pants off my chair. She says, oh, I think you got a little on your pants too. Or just, what is it? They're trying to save face, maybe? I don't know what it. Why don't you just say that you screwed up? Well, and then she screwed up again because she didn't clean me right. So now, if it's her, I hope it's not her. Whoever puts me in the chair tomorrow is going to have to clean me correctly, and I'm going to have to make sure they clean me correctly. But the girl that was the CNA today is the one where I've had to take my own trays out for a week. She doesn't like me at all, I think, and because I say thank you to her, she doesn't say nothing. She just walks away, which is getting to be very common these days. Ever since the nurses and CNAs have discovered this YouTube site. I don't know if they're watching all of them. I hope they are. If they are, let me tell you something. When I say CNAs break stuff all the time, I'm talking about the CNAs that break stuff all, not all of them. I'm only talking in general. And the nurses, I've only complained about one nurse, yet another nurse who I actually like, talked. I knew she knew what was in the videos because of the way she talked to me today. And it kind of blew my mind, because she is actually one of the nurses that I have the least trouble with. I think she does pretty well. She's fantastic as a nurse. And she's all talking like, she's been called on the carpet. I don't know, maybe somebody in the main office said something to her. I don't know. But it wasn't me, because I was talking about just really one nurse in particular. But see, that's the thing. I'm not talking about every CNA. I am not talking about every nurse. I can't keep saying that. I've said it in previous videos. If you haven't watched all my videos, that's why you don't know that. I can't keep saying that. So I'm just going to talk about what the bad ones are doing. The ones, they're not really bad. The ones that are have bad habits. Some of them are bad. Some of them are just, they need to be retrained or go find another job. And then some of them just have bad habits. The good CNAs with bad habits. And only a couple, That's just the way it is. So if you're watching this and you work here, that's the deal. Stop being pissed off at me, because that's what it is. And if you're one of these people who think, I yell at everybody, yeah, I do. If you screw up, I'm going to yell at you. That's just the way it is. Part of it is I would try to temper it a little bit, and that you can find that in that part about what my disease does to me, because it's burned up my temporal lobe. If you catch me by surprise, or I all of a sudden blow, it's because my adrenaline shot through the roof and I couldn't stop it. If I'm prepared, for the most part, I can kind of, like if you watched the video before this, when I'm talking about what happened between me and this nurse, and I was trying to be calm. That's kind of like it is, but then all of a sudden, I forget what she said as she was leaving, and I blew, and that's when I cussed at her and I told her to get out. So the first part of that is kind of like when I was trying to hold my own, and then at the end, it was like there was nothing I could do, But at the same time, she shouldn't have been doing that. I've mentioned this in the video, All it does is increase my stress and make it more likely that I'm going to have a relapse. And that's the opposite of why I'm here. This is a medical facility. Most of these people are supposed to be familiar with my situation and not cause me stress. And yet the exact opposite of what happens. I'm getting called out by a nurse. What? I actually wonder if it's YouTube is getting to it, because my third wife, she was Miss Louisiana, and I didn't stay married to her very long, because I married her over the internet kind of thing. Well, I didn't marry her over the internet, but I met her over the internet, and I knew her for a couple of years. But I didn't realize that she was an abusive alcoholic. And being in my situation, well, I was in it a lot better, because I was still an Uber driver at the time. But she's probably what started the relapse that crippled me. Doing that and the doctor not giving me the medicine I needed, that's what did it. But what was I going to say about her? Just a second, people. Okay, I had to take a second to think about what I was going to say about her, because the MS makes me forget things sometimes. Yeah, my third wife, who, I was down in Louisiana, I finally moved down there, and we went to at the time I was still vaping. I was at the end of quitting smoking. And I went up to the vape store guy, because I knew vape store up here, but not down there. So I went up to the vape store guy to find out what he had, because I don't like that candy kind of stuff. I'm more into the baked goods kind of thing, like brownies or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out what he has. Well, my third wife starts talking about what a famous YouTuber I am. And I was like, well, I'm not that famous. I mean, I had a lot of people listening that weren't subscribing, because it's Bigfoot, right? A lot of people don't want no connection to Bigfoot, but they listen to the show. They just won't subscribe. So I had a lot of people listening to live shows and that kind of thing. So she's like thinking I'm this famous YouTuber. I am by far not a famous. No, back then, I was not even close to being a famous YouTuber. Well, actually, by then I had stopped. I think I started doing live shows back in 2018, 2019. And then I quit again with her, because every time I went on there, she'd come on there and start talking smack, because after I found out she was an abusive alcoholic, I said, that's it. I had to call the police on her 3 times. She was going to stab me with a kitchen knife once. And it was a shame. My father met her, said she seemed like a great person. But once she got that, she would drink. I thought this was a joke, but she would drink a box of wine every night. And then she would get drunk and she'd start whipping me with USB cables and all kind of stuff. Now, I'm a big dude. I can handle a lot of crap. But, if she got close enough to me, I probably would have got a gorilla hold on her. And, that would have been that. But she always made sure she stayed away from me when she was whipping me with cables and stuff. But anyway, so the point was, she thought I was this famous YouTuber. I wasn't. So maybe that's the same mentality this nurse has. Is that she'd think, she's got 1 million subscribers. It's nothing to sneeze at. If she's got I would think if I had 1 million subscribers on my, Bigfoot YouTube, or this oped YouTube, that I would be making more than enough money to where I wouldn't have to work at all. And she still comes in here. So I don't know exactly what's going on with her YouTube channel. I used to make almost $2,000 a month, and I only had 10,000 subscribers. I was just shy of getting a plaque or whatever when I quit on the Bigfoot channel anyway. So I have no idea how she has 1 million if she's not making, some serious bank. Except I know that they changed YouTube a lot back then. I went from making almost $2,000 a month to, I don't even think I was getting paid every month. I was like, what? They changed it a lot. And then I've heard that since I dropped it, that they changed it again. I guess for the better. I don't know. It's not quite as bad. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. But anyway, I hope that's not going to her head, and that's why she's acting like that. Because none of the other ones have. As a matter, she acted worse than any CNA even. And I've got into it. I've had CNAs call me, one of them called me a pervert, which was ironic, since her mother was the one slapping me on the ass when she was changing me. Both of them are CNAs here. That's very ironic. Anyway, so this CNA here puts me in. She discovers that I need to clean up. Didn't clean me properly at all. I'm still dirty. There's nothing I can do. I'm not allowed to clean myself. I'm still dirty. Hopefully tomorrow won't be her again. And it tells me that I must have done something. See, that's one of the things I think they get away with here, is because everyone's half out of their mind. And even me, prior to taking control of my medications, I'm not for sure. I think they were slipping something in my meds. Because at first I started cutting stuff out. And things got a little better. And then I cut a little more out. Well, all of a sudden, things got to where, now I'm almost normal again. Like, I don't even so much just pass gas anymore. I used to do it all constantly. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And because of that, I think that the CNAs, from my perspective, anytime, I'm like, really? I thought I passed gas and that was it. Oh, no. So I never did know. I couldn't tell. And now I can. And now I know I didn't so much as pass gas all day. And yet she still attributed it to something happened. Now, I know, I can't say for sure because I have MS. Maybe I'm just numbed out. But it never happened before. And I'm pretty sure it didn't happen this time. But I can't be, 100%. Except that, it's in order for that to happen, I would have to not be able to feel her cleaning me up, and I could. So, So she chalked it up to me doing something, And I think that's one of the things to get away with here, is because nobody really knows. Either you don't have the mentality of compass mentis, whatever it is, or there's something in your medication causing this. But from the way she acted, that's the way. Maybe it's because anyone who has them have to change them instead of somebody who can go to the bathroom by themselves. Maybe that's her experience, that every single one of them doesn't really know or something. I don't know. Just real funny that she said I did, and I know I didn't. I know it was because she left me dirty, but she used it, I know, to cover up. And then she didn't clean it properly after that. So that's twice now that she hasn't cleaned it properly. So if she works tomorrow, I'm going to tell her straight up. And she can either go and get somebody else to do it. See, they were supposed to order me special gloves so I could do it myself. Not special, but, well, yeah, special because nobody else here uses 2X. But I need 2X gloves in order, because the other ones, they shred too easily, the extra larges. So I need 2X. And supposedly they were ordered, they came in, someone stole them, so they got ordered again by the last CNA, and she's gone now. So now I don't know who I'm supposed to, I guess I'll talk to this woman over here that used to be the unit manager tomorrow. See if she can find them. So I can clean myself and stop dealing with these stupid, these CNAs with a problem. They don't want to, and I got to wonder, are the rest of these people just as nasty? Because they don't say nothing? I mean, how do you do that? How do you do that to a grown person? I never did that to my grandkids when I changed them. How the hell do you do that to a grown person and still have your self-respect? Because you didn't respect that person enough to make sure they were clean? I mean, how are you not just mortified at your own actions? I mean, it's almost like, to me, it seems like these CNAs don't think they're supposed to do that. Really, that's what it seems like. And I've asked repeatedly and been told repeatedly by nurses, yeah, that's their job. So if that's their job, how come they all act like it's not? I don't get it. They're supposed to be the bottom rung of medical professional. Next up is LPN, then RN, then nurse practitioner. I think educators in there might be below practitioner. But that's the way it goes, and that means that they are supposed to do that. Been told that by a bunch of professionals above them. Yet they tell me they're not supposed to. Or act like they're not supposed to, I guess is a better way of putting it. Refusing to clean you properly and stuff. How? How do you reconcile with yourself if you don't do your job correctly? I would think the problem would be more, and I've said this before in my other video, it would be more the CNA trying to convince the resident, this is part of my job, okay? If you prefer to do something later or different, tell me. And I would think it would be more of that than the CNA having to be coaxed to do her job. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. As a resident, as a cripple now, I've had to force myself to take things and adapt to things that I didn't want to. Just as to get my kidney stones done. I had to have a Foley. I didn't want that crap. I don't want to sit in a wheelchair. Before this happened, I wanted to go travel the world in an RV and go hiking up mountains and stuff. And now here I'm in this freaking nursing home. You know, having to deal with people that don't want to do their job. And I mean the people that don't do their job. If you know you do your job, I'm not talking about you. Keep that in mind. I'm just generalizing. And I'm only pointing out the people that don't. Anyway, I think in this video I was going to discuss the documents. The documents I just got done doing. I've got one document to going to corporate headquarters that's basically talking about all of the neglect and abuse I've experienced since I've been here. And then there's some bullet points saying, you know, wait a minute, let me pull that up so I can tell you. I kind of forgot. What the heck? I did one by these features that they keep putting on different things. I think they're getting out of control. Like that feature they have on YouTube now where you pull the box down in the corner. But when you have MS or Parkinson's and your hands shake, you end up constantly pulling that thing down. And then you can't get the thing to go back up because now that it's so tiny, it takes forever for you to click on it. Oh, it's crazy. I wish they would fix it so we can disable that. Anyway, that was a side note. This one's for This one's for the administrator of this facility. I think, yeah, right. Yeah, it's for the administrator. It talks about things I've experienced. Oh, then it talks about requests for corrective actions. That's like, you know, retraining and that kind of thing to stop all the things that have happened to me. Yeah, I was thinking it was laws, but it's not. It's actually corrective actions. And that's both for the administrator and for the parent company. And of course, the parent company, it's a little different than for the administrator. It goes into more detail. But how long has this been though? Almost 30 minutes. So it's a long video, kinda. I used to do an hour shows and an hour and a half. Heck, one time I did a 5-hour interview and a 3-hour live show. I think 3 or 4-hour live show. So this isn't really new for me. I'm just trying to keep them shorter these days. If you let me know if you like the long or the short, format in the comments below or the community section. But I might make another video, like I'll read the document for the parent company because it kind of includes what's being sent to the administrator. It's just a little more extensive in another video. Just that, because I'm thinking about doing that and tagging, diversicare, and kind of let that be their notice. In addition to, I'm going to fax the information as well. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. You can find the addresses for cryptic.blockchain and buy me a coffee on my main page in the links section. So until next time, thanks a lot.